Basement Bookers Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast Forbidden Door weekend. And this week, we're going to be talking about the AEW Forbidden Door pay-per-view. And this is going to be, I have never been so excited for a Forbidden Door pay-per-view since the last Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Rich Derez, this promises to be the best Forbidden Door since the last best Forbidden Door. Wouldn't you say?
I absolutely agree 100%. This certainly will be the best, if not one of the best, one of the top two Forbidden Door events in history. This is a big, big night for AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, the king of sport, as we all know. 11
That's right.
big, big, kind of big matches that people care about
That's
and
right.
want to
I'd
see.
go. I'd go as far to say as this is the best. This will be the best Forbidden Door all year.
Mhm.
Guaranteed. You have the basement chair guaranteed that this is the best Forbidden Door that you're going to see the entire year. So
Absolutely. It certainly rivals like the best of the best Forbidden Door cards of all time.
yeah, that's right. That being said, looking forward to Tanahashi Okada Mega uh, Thunder Soup, and it's going to be amazing. And also, we got a lot to say. We got a lot to say about that. Now, before we go straight into the Forbidden Door, which is the theme of this episode of the Basement Bookers podcast, this is a wrestling podcast. Two guys with a lot of experience, watching wrestling together and really just talking a lot of shit over it. So we're doing that here in this podcast. That's what this is about. So, it really helps out if you like the page, like it, subscribe. The algorithm says that like a lot of you aren't subscribed that watch, which we think it's great that you watch. So let us know that you're there. The first question of the day is which match do you think is going to be the best Forbidden Door ever in the history of this year match? And then also, who do you think will be the underdog? Which match has the biggest dog? And I'm not talking about the big dog whose song's since been retired. I mean like underdogs. Like is uh Adam Cole gonna have trouble with some ex UFC guy or something? Uh, whatever. So just sound off there below and the best one will get a heart on the comment. So it's pretty big. And 32 basement booker dollars, not fundable, not fungible, not existing, has no physical space, no value, but really it's inside you. So, we're looking to make it rain basement booker bucks all day. We've got an infinite supply. There's no inflation here. It's fine. So let's hit the ground running, man. Let's now. Are we going straight into the Forbidden Door, or is there like something you wish that people need to know right away going into this? Do we need to know like the gate or how many seats? Do we need to know these things? Does this matter? I don't know. It's up to you, really. No collision stuff this week. Collision next week, because we did that, and we found out that CM Punk likes pineapple on his pizza, and he was seen eating it in front of people, and the AEW people didn't like that very much. Look, I got to say, I'm not saying anything controversial. I like pineapple on pizza when it's Domino's, and I'm not a coward. So CM Punk, you should be, if that's what you like, then just do it. Don't be a coward. Okay? Face Kenta. Okay? Just you're gonna face him. I hope he shows up today. I hope, you guys do business. That's right, Rich Derez. And the first match is, of course, Adam Cole
Baby!
versus this guy, Tom Lawler. Look, I gotta say, from the looks of him, he fights because he's got cauliflower ear. Look, he's a menace. He has yet to return that library book. They want it back. You should really return it. That could be some other kid's future there. It's not just for you. The library's for everyone. All right, Thomas, return it. Rich, what do you make of this? What's the story here? I only know that Adam Cole was in the ring, and MJF was like, "I'm MJF, and I'm MJF, and all over the place. And here's a guy to fight you because we're good friends, me and you."
Hmm.
Is that what happened?
Pretty much. So as MJF is talking, Tom Lawler, who, by the way, I gotta break this news. I heard a rumor, and it's just an allegation that
Is
he
this
might,
yeah?
he might, Tom Lawler might be filthy. Just an allegation. Something I heard.
I I think that's like his name, like how Seth freaking Rollins is he like Filthy Tom Lawler or is he Tom Filthy Lawler?
It's filthy Tom.
All right, well, why don't they just all right, listen. I know we give Vince a lot of shit for his names and stuff, but why not go with Filthy Tom? Why do I have to read here on this beautifully made graphic that AEW made? And it is beautiful. It's lovely. It's quite lovely. It's the loveliest you've ever seen. And why doesn't it say Dirty Tom? Tom Lawler, ex-Natal Lawler, because no one gives a shit. Let's do Dirty Tom. Dirty Tom on all the t-shirts, bro. Like, you are terrifying. If I were to see you in the streets, I would cross the street. I would run for a bus. There's no time, as a matter of fact. If I miss it, I'm running along the route in case the bus starts to come and then I can get it. That's really as far away as I want to get from you. You're doing yourself a great disservice by going as simply Tom Lawler, Filthy Tom, change it on your birth certificate. We're here to make money.
There you go. So I think he keeps his last name just sort of, as a nod to his UFC career. By the way, did you notice
That's the
who?
past.
Yeah,
Yes.
true. But did you notice who he is apparently in a faction or team with in New Japan? Came out
You
with him.
know, I'd imagine it's someone that's catch as catch can. He's a tough guy, and I'm sure he's got memories, memories of a time where the call for battle, you know what I mean? Words came out the mouth there.
So you probably didn't notice that they mentioned him by name, Royce Isaacs.
Yeah, look, when I say I watched Rampage, I didn't finish Rampage. I had to do a podcast.
Okay.
So really, what am I supposed to do? Like how am I supposed to that's what you're here for. You're the nerd.
Royce Isaacs, former stablemate of Nick Aldis in NWA, former tag team partner of Tom. Oh man, I can't remember his real name
Tom
at the moment.
Brady.
Bram,
Got it.
formerly
Oh.
known as Bram.
Oh, Lautner, no,
Thomas Latimer. Latimer.
Latimer. Yeah,
Latimer.
Latimer.
Hmm.
We did it. We didn't
There we
even
go.
have to Google anything.
There we go.
No corrections needed, future Jared. Let's pick. Is that what we're on now?
It's gonna be Adam Cole, baby.
Honestly, I think it will be Filthy Tom. Filthy Tom looks like he can kill Adam Cole. So I'm gonna go by that. And like I said, it could be insert person here. It doesn't necessarily have to be Adam Cole. It could be me or Rich Derez. So we're
Right.
not hating on Adam Cole. This has nothing to do with anything. Everybody's favorite character in Fight Forever.
Next up for the AEW International Championship, we have Orange Cassidy defending in a fatal four-way against Zack Sabre Jr., Katsuyori Shibata, and Daniel Garcia. Garcia being the only man in this match to not have ever held a title.
What are
Or no,
you
wait,
talking about, Rich
Garcia was
Derez?
pure.
He was the ROH pure champion. This is disrespectable, disreputable, disfiguratable. This is ridiculous. You can't even remember. Daniel Garcia once held the pure championship for the ROH, whatever that means. It means he's pure. It means he's pure as the driven snow. They went out there, they gave him a purity test. He's never been with a woman. Okay, he's never even touched a boob. Okay, there's no one purer than Daniel Garcia. All right, buddy. He's out there and he's fighting for integrity. All right, that's why he wears those tight leather pants. Okay, he's saving himself for marriage. He's not some kind of manho like Sammy Guevara until he settled down. Daniel Garcia is a gentleman and he's a good guy, and that's why it's unfortunate that hack Orange Cassidy, who does nothing but put his hands in his pockets and does lines with Tony Khan. And when I say lines, I mean like in acting, like you read lines, you do lines with each other. I'm not saying anything. It's not being dirty, filthy drug addicts. Okay, we're not talking about that shit. We run a clean shop here. Okay, Orange Cassidy's a good man. It's just that we don't agree on a lot of things. He wants his hands in his pockets. I say maybe you take them out once in a while. It's off putting. What are you trying to hide? What are you doing in there? Are you some kind of deviant? All right. So my pick would be Daniel Garcia, but it's not going to be, even though he's the most pure person, the purest person in here, purer than the driven snow, never hurt anyone's feelings for real. Like he only hurts TV feelings. He's a good guy. You're a good guy, Daniel Garcia. I hope you're watching this when I tell you you're a good guy.
So what distracted me was he's actually the only one in this match that is not a champion. That's what my
He is not
ADD.
currently wearing a belt.
Right.
Because he has tight leather pants. They
Right.
don't come down.
They
Like
just
he has to pour like baby powder down there or something to unstick.
Mhm.
It's a whole situation.
Right.
You know.
So, given the situation that it's a fatal four-way, anything can happen, the whole nine, I think Orange Cassidy is going to retain again.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you, Shibata, for coming. Thank you, Zack Sabre Jr. I hope your flights were good. I hope you met friends. I hope that it was good and you didn't have one of those stupid layovers or whatever. I wouldn't know. That's far away. Why don't you live here? I know why. All right. Speaking of plowing ahead, I bring to you Athena, the ROH Women's World Champion versus Billy Starks. No relation to Zoe Stark, because she has an extra thing.
Right.
So they're a bit different. As you can see, Billy, she's one of the tongue people. I don't get it. It works sometimes, but at least it's a lady. Um, Look, I don't know a lot about her, but I think she's got this. I think she's gonna really come out on top in this Owen Hart Women's Tournament quarterfinal at the Forbidden Door that they happen to be in. So this is not for any championship. Athena's just letting y'all know she happens to be. So she's gonna be a legit threat, but I don't think every AEW person is gonna win. So if I have to pick someone, I think maybe Athena does the honors here. But also, maybe Billy Starks is not as famous as I happen to think she is because I know nothing. And maybe that's not going to make the waves. But who knows? Maybe she, from the first question, maybe she's the underdog. Okay, maybe that's one. So far for me, this underdog, she might pull an upset on Athena. I could be wrong. If she's like got like all this experience and she's like some wonderkin and she's like the best, and I'm like an idiot right now. But that's not the first time. If you've ever seen this, this is a regular occurrence. So Rich, why don't you take us through this and your point of view here? Because I don't know when to stop.
Clearly. So, Billy Starks is the 18-year-old prodigy, just signed after she finally, good, congrats, graduated high school. So Billy Starks would sort of be the fan favorite, um, the tug at the heartstrings kind of story. So they could do that. I kind of feel like, especially with Athena as heel now, and we haven't seen Athena much since she won the Ring of Honor Women's World Title because I don't watch Ring of Honor. Uh,
It's
but
not your fault.
right,
Look, I need to say this. Okay, this is to New Japan. This is to Tony Khan and Ring of Honor. I shouldn't have to go looking for you. You should already know because you got your TNT deals and all that. You need to get on TV, like prime time. Okay, make it easy for us to DVR that shit. Okay, I can't be looking for this. Okay, it's not gonna work for me. We need to do. Look, I get it. I've been spoon fed by WWE. I've grown accustomed to that. Okay, this lifestyle, you must confirm to this because it's not just me. I'm I'm an average Joe. I'm just a regular guy, and you want the regular guy too. It's not just you because regular guys we become hardcore. You gotta let us in. You know what I mean? We gotta come on, guys. I'm still waiting for my copy of Fight Forever. We've checked the Basement Booker's Gmail at least 3 times a day. And when I say we, I mean me. And when I say 3 times a day, I mean 3 times an hour a day. So I'm still waiting. Okay, I will stream that game all day if you need me to, with pauses for sleep. So if let's go. All right. So remember when I said a nice thing because Daniel Garcia is purer than the driven snow. He's a pure champion. You took it away from him. It belongs to him. Whoever has it, they don't deserve it. So, all right. So, did you make a pick?
Athena.
All right, great. All right, everybody. This is a match that you've all been waiting for. All right. This is the Blackpool Combat Club and Shota Umino and Konosuke Takeshita versus the Elite Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii in a 10-man tag team match, sure to contain more super kicks in the history than the last Forbidden Door. Rich Derez.
That's right. So I know you did say it correctly the first time. I just want to reiterate that you said Blackpool Combat Club with Konosuke Takeshita and Shota Umino versus the Elite, along with Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii.
That's what I said.
Yes,
Weren't you
it is.
listening? Okay.
I was. I
All
was just reiterating,
right.
like I said.
Excellent.
So 10-man tag, it's going to be chaos. There's going to be a lot of super kicks. There's going to be far too many super kicks. There's going to be so many super kicks. You'll wonder, are they actually super kicks? I don't think they are because,
Honestly, if I could interject here,
yeah.
I think not only are these kicks super,
Mm.
but they are blessed by the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, because the Bucks they stand. They stand for JC just as much as your boy. And let me tell you something. Sources closest nowhere near anywhere this situation tell me that these kicks, it's not just about kicks, bro. It is about holy water. They pour it all over the shoes. It's blessed by a bishop. This is the Bucks are taking this seriously. They didn't talk to me. I don't know them, but I'd imagine if we were to know each other, they were like, Jer, we did it. We're ready. We're gonna shove. We're gonna shove our Christ-like, however size shoes we happen to wear that you're too lazy to look up the butt of the Blackpool Combat Butts because they are a bunch of butt heads that love bleeding, and it's a problem. It's a problem because you can't go around headbutting each other before matches just to get the juice going. How about you have the wrestling match and let the work speak for itself? And I have a feeling that Shota Umino and Konosuke Takashita, they're going to bring sophistication and they're going to make sure that these uncultured swine behave themselves. So my pick is the Holy Bucks over the BBC club here.
So the Bucks and Kingston and Ishii are obviously the fan favorite here. Kingston is the real wild card in this situation because Kingston doesn't like anybody, but he hates Claudio more than anyone.
That's right.
So I feel like what's going to happen is Kingston and Claudio, they're just going to brawl off camera. They're going to go away and disappear. Maybe one of them will come back. Hopefully, Kingston won't bring a gas can to the ring this time. That ends up being completely ineffective, other than just seemingly stinking out the place.
Fodder,
Yeah.
mean
So
fodder.
yeah, for real. You mentioned the Bucks being, followers of Christ. Maybe that's why their super kicks do no damage, because then the opponent is able to turn the other cheek and take the next super kick.
I mean, it let he who was without Sid receive the first super kick. That's uh LeBuck Le Young Buckus 7:14. I think that's the verse there in over there. Yeah, Eddie Kingston, yeah, he's a wild card in that he's gonna, might get a little tired and disappear for a long time, as per custom in these multi-people matches with Eddie Kingston. And if I were Cesaro, what I would do is I would wear red tights. And you know how like the Ascension back in the day from NXT, it looked like they have like it almost looks like a they have like a lower fabric in front of them, like between the legs,
Mm,
kinda.
like
So
gladiator style.
yeah, like do that. So it's like so you can like Toro, because Eddie Kingston, he sees Claudio, he gets mad. So now you got, you got him with the bull stuff, right? And now he doesn't know what to do. You're
Mm.
setting his blood pressure all high up because he's got high blood pressure. We all do, mi gente, and like boom, that's all you got to do. You got to accelerate the symptoms. He's sleeping like a baby. So, or he breaks his foot off his Cesar and Castagnoli's cannoli. You feel me? Uh, it could be any man's game. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop right now. So I'm going with the Young Bucks here. And I definitely almost forgot Eddie Kingston was in it because he was gone for so long.
Hmm.
Because he said he quit AEW, but seeing as how this is AEW, but technically, also Ring of Honor is here because Athena's here. So fine, whatever, right?
That's right. I'm also going with Team Elite, much as I'd
Excellent,
rather not.
excellent, excellent, excellent. By the way, we respect all peoples, regardless of anything you believe. Rich DeRiz isn't a religious man.
I
We
am
have
religious.
listeners.
I am a devout atheist.
We have listeners all over the world from many different, places and beliefs, and all beautiful and good.
Next up, we have what is my prediction for what will be match of the night: the American Dragon, Brandon Anderson, versus Kazuchika Okada. Now, I know in a previous episode I mentioned how styles make fights, and if it were up to me, I would be doing Brandon Anderson versus Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega versus Okada. But that doesn't mean that this still won't be a very good match. I feel like this is going to be the match to watch. Omega and Ospreay, its own thing. Like, they have a heated rivalry going on. But as far as the in ring ability, this is going to be it.
I couldn't agree more, Rich Torres. This is going to be the best Forbidden Door main event. Not really, probably. I don't even know what the main event. This is going to be the best uh, Brian Danielson match since the last Forbidden Door that he wasn't in. And let me tell you, he was very upset that he couldn't make the other one. This is a dream for him. He's been out. He's been working through injuries. He's banged up a little bit. But let me tell you what right now. I'm sorry, Mr. Okada. You need to see this right now. Here, you see this fist. You see this fist, Okada? You see this fist? Brian Danielson, Dander Bryanson, he's going to take that fist and he's going to shove it so far up your colon pipe. It's going to come out through your eyeball that you like to do that too, and you're just going to realize You messed with the wrong American Dragon. You messed up. You done messed up, bro. And I hope your flight was comfortable because on the way back, it ain't gonna be because I said the fist thing. That we're gonna it's not gonna be good for sitting. You know, take
Hmm.
that from me. I know.
So, spoiler alert, I am in a way, I feel like this match and the Omega Osprey match are going to be a little bit mirrors of each other in the results. This
Right.
match, I feel like Brandon Anderson will come out on top.
This is amazing. This comedy podcast is nailing it. All right. This next match is scheduled for one Phil. That's CM Punk Phillip Brooks here, and he's here to handle his business with the legendary, probably, Satoshi Kojima. And he's here for the Owen Hart Men's Tournament quarterfinal to do battle. Look, it's gonna be CM Punk. It's in his contract that he's not to lose a fight. Here we go. This is the first singles match for CM Punk since his return on Saturday to Collision, in which he participated in a 3-star match with FTR versus the other guys across from them, which was, of course, Jay Switchblade Guy, Jay White, right? And
Hmm.
Dirty Juice Robinson, who definitely took the pin, and another guy, very famously known only as.
Oh, we're going to kick ourselves. I'm kicking myself already, and you're going to kick yourself when you hear. You ready?
Yeah,
Samoa Joe.
that's right. Samoa Joe, which we knew the whole time. We didn't have to look anything up. We just came up with it, came right out of our heads. We're experts on AEW, New Japan, New Wrestling. That's right, guys. Back to this. Listen, it's definitely what I said before. No time passed there. Obviously, wasn't a long time ago. I'm not trying to like remember, but yes, definitely CM Punk. He's got this right in the bag. Look at him. He's even pointing at like that finger there. It's look up there. That's my contract up there. It says I can't lose a fight. So here we are. So
It's
yo, imagine
almost
I'm
as
right.
if he's trying to say he's
He's
the
acknowledging the
ones.
tribal chief.
Yeah.
Actually, he's actually
Or
acknowledging the tribal chief.
or the Usos.
No, the tribal chief.
Yes.
Or he's like just picked his nose and he's like, I'm CM Punk and I'm showing you my booger.
This was a good one.
This was a good one. I signed my contract with this booger.
I
See,
want this preserved in the picture.
this should be saved for history, right next to that pipe bomb. You think he has a signed 8x10 of himself in the pipe bomb promo
Of
from
course.
himself? Of
Of
course,
course.
right?
Of
And
course.
he just picks it up and he goes, oh, and then he goes to bed with his wife. All right, before we get beat up by CM Punk, do you have anything to say about that? And also,
Well,
everything I said hashtag fact.
speaking of getting beat up by CM Punk, he has a flawless UFC record. Flawless for his
Yes,
opponents.
that's right. At the end of the day, the UFC is a business, and someone's got to win. Sometimes it's not you.
That's right.
You know, and you think about it, like that's probably the best thing to happen to those gentlemen. If you think about it, like they were very famous because of having that guy take a nap for him. So
Yep.
really, he's CM Punk's a hero
Hmm.
in that regard.
He's so giving.
He is, isn't he? Oh, should we move on now, or did
Yeah.
I do right? Okay.
Yeah, my pick is Punk too, by the way. Next up is probably the most predictable match ever for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, where Sonata will successfully defend against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Jared, what do you got?
Look, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to watch the best Forbidden Door since the last Forbidden Door, and for Sonata to defend the Cody Rhodes Championship against Jack Perry. It definitely looks like Cody's neck tattoo. I get it. He made it after that, whatever. But hey, look, I think what we're gonna have here is Jungle Boy's gonna lose, and I think he's gonna turn heel on Hook somehow because I don't know why Hook's in this picture. Is he in his corner? I think this might be a little something, a little spice added up into this otherwise routine Forbidden Door pay-per-view, it looks like. So you got to put a little sports entertainment in here. It can't all be, we got some of that coming up though. But what do you think? This is going to just be this and that's, yeah, I definitely think easy retention here. There's no way Jungle Boy gets the W.
Right. So you might be onto something there because I know you watched and studied this week's Rampage in its entirety,
I
but
did. I
uh,
paused it. I rewound. I turned closed captionings on.
you did your homework. So I'm sure you picked up on the fact that while the fans were singing and dancing along to Jungle Boy Jack Perry's such good song,
It
they
is
were
the
booing
best.
him. They were booing him in the match.
Yeah, and look, I mean, sometimes you get booed. Rey Mysterio wrestled LA Knight on SmackDown,
Yeah.
and LA Knight was getting pops. So, the people want what they want. Honestly, I think the best thing for Jungle Boy to do is be a heel because he's a nice guy, I bet. I bet he's a nice guy. I bet he's a good family boy. He takes care of his family. He's a young man. It's early in his career. He's got his whole life ahead of him, but he seems like he could play a character that is pretty shit. And
Mm,
when I say that, I don't mean like a shit character, but I mean like he's like just like he could just be like this shitty guy. Like he could be a bad guy. Like I feel like if he tried, he could do it. So I think this is it. I think let Hook be the good guy here, or just to be Hook. You know what I mean? And he's gonna have to beat some sense into this mook.
mm-hmm.
So that's what I got there. Well, seeing as how I did this, this next match is Jericho guys versus Sting guys because Sting is old. So it's I think it's Lee Sex Suzuki Gods or something
The Suzuki
versus
Gods.
yes, versus Sting and his crew, which will be Darby All In. It's the Scissor Guys. Are they in that?
They're
Or are they
not.
not? No, no, not the Scissor Guys. So you got it, right? You
It's
can
just a
just
six-man
say,
tag. Sting,
yeah,
Darby, All In, and Mr. TBA himself.
I can't believe TBA is making a return to professional wrestling
Listen,
at the second best Forbidden Door to ever happen in the history of Forbidden Doors.
right.
Some might say the best Forbidden Door since the last one, and it hasn't even started.
Allegedly, this Mr. TBA will reveal himself on, or will be revealed rather, on Collision.
I hope it's Goldberg. It's probably not Goldberg because that's like too much.
Why would you do that to me? Why would
You
you
know,
wish that on me?
because this is a entertainment podcast. I have to do stuff fun, and it's fun for me to do that to you. So
I mean,
really,
as it is with Jungle Boy on the card, there is still a possibility that Christian will show up.
I think they're on different paths now. I think we should leave Christian Cage and his Wardlow program, which, as far as I know, is still going on. You know what I mean? I don't think this is over. Let's let Jungle Boy be a mean POS character. I want him shoving people. I want him like pie facing cameramen. I
Hmm.
want him pie facing Renee Paquette. Okay, just
That
just
would be the heat.
downright like, dude. I'm t- I'm sitting here and I'm thinking. I'm like, hold on a second here. This is why they put him with Christian Cage. They needed him to pick up scumbag behavior. It all makes sense, and we're gonna see it come out. We're gonna see it come out. He's gonna be a real douche canoe. I said it. It's coming. The run
So
the Jungle Boy Renaissance is coming.
I like
It's
that
coming,
Renaissance.
man. Yeah.
So I feel like Now, okay. So we all know, like, some dudes that, like, you know, like when they're younger and like not maybe not confident or whatever, like they'd gravitate towards girls with daddy issues, right?
That's right, Rich Derez.
And Jungle Boy learned from a veteran who gravitated towards men with daddy issues.
Right. Right.
So I feel like maybe that could be sort of part of his gimmick. Like he'll insult wrestlers' girlfriends and talk about their daddy issues.
I think that's perfect. I think he comes from a place of knowledge in that regard. He's like, and he could be even worse. He'd be like, just look at my sister, okay?
Hmm.
Or whatever. Like, he could just do whatever. But just imagining him and that voice of his trying to do that, he's going to get booed mercilessly. He could get Dominic Mysterio type heat if he just be yourself, man, and
Hmm.
you can get this done. I know it. I just believe it in my heart. Yeah. So Sting, guys.
Yeah,
What
I'm
do you
I'm
got?
realizing a parallel with Dominic Mysterio. The heat that he gets in large part, it's due to the way he speaks, which at this point is probably part of his character, much like the way he speaks is part of Corbin's character.
Yeah, and Jack Perry.
Right. So this really could be sort of a new path for people to get heel heat. Like, if you're not great at speaking, even if you improve, still do it the same way because people hate it.
That's
Get
right,
that
dude.
that's like focusing the X-Pac heat.
That's right. You got to harness. You got to take your 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 shit heel chi, bros, and you've got to harness it and turn it into like a heat magnet, and then what comes out of it is money. Just fly up out of that. So you
Hmm.
gotta be you could be, people what people love to hate. So
That's right.
all right, I picked Sting, guys. What do you got?
Uh, Sting, guys.
All right.
Next up, we have what is probably going to be the main event of the evening. I think deservedly so for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Believe it or not, presumably over the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega, the champion, defending against the angry Will Ospreay, who had a moment this week on Rampage. We saw that. We
That's right,
saw
we
that.
did. We saw that moment. That moment was a moment that is gonna live in Kenny Omega's mind forever. It's gonna haunt him until this match. The very best main event of Forbidden Door since the last very best main event of Forbidden Door.
Here we go. Hot start to Rampage. You got Chaos and United Empire here, and that's there goes Osprey in the corner with Yo, and what's he doing? He's slamming him in the head, punching him in the top of the head there. There's Jeff Cobb, and he's hitting him with the English Hammer. The English Hammer. That probably shouldn't be legal, but Aubrey's right there, and I don't know if she's okay with it because I don't know why.
Spoiler alert, Meltzer called me. Probably not him. No one called me. Making this up. He's going to give this 69 stars and a reach around. Rich Derez, what do you think about what's gonna happen here? I think Will Osprey, a very game Will Osprey. I love his finisher. I think he should win this. I think it's time for Osprey time. Uh, it's gonna be great. I have a prediction. Will Osprey is gonna. It's gonna be my favorite point of the night. When Will Osprey he goes down to the ring and he Will Osprey's all over Kenny Omega, and it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. It's Osprey time. Let's freaking go.
Well, I think he got some of that frustration out on Rampage, as we saw, if you know what I'm saying. If you don't know what I'm saying, check out our socials,
That's
particularly
right. We all know.
Facebook and Instagram. Posted my thoughts there on what we saw. But one thing I think we're going to see is I think we're going to see both Kenny and Will Ospreay use each other's finisher kind of a thing that happens. I'm a fan of Ospreay's finisher also, that running back elbow. I don't know if he has a name for it. If he does, then boo on the AEW announce team for not calling it.
I thought the English Hammer was his finisher. I thought they were going to do English hammers to each other's faces. I thought that's what you were referring to. Sorry about that. We'll just forget that then. Obviously, I was speaking, of course, about the regular move. I wasn't talking about that. Just forget it.
Right. I mean, he very well could call that running back elbow to the back of the neck the English hammer. What I said a couple of moments ago, where I said that these two matches are going to be opposite, when I said Brandon Anderson is going to beat Okada, Ospreay is going to beat Omega and become the new IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion.
Now, that's something that I can get behind. Ladies and gentlemen, what might be also not the main event, probably. I don't know. In MJF's mind, it's his main event, but maybe it's the first match so he can go home early. Who knows? So, I mean, he is the AEW World Champion and the AEW Championships on the line. I don't know why that wouldn't be the main event, but then again, it's it's a combined show, and Kenny is big in both companies, so I guess maybe. And also, MJF is one disrespectful gaijin. All right, let me tell you something right now. He's got no respect. All right, the way he comes out here, he goes out there, he says names incorrectly. Okay, on purpose, by the way, on purpose. Not like honest mistakes that could happen to anyone whose first language is English and second is Spanish. I'm not talking about anybody particularly. So let's not even point fingers. So look, this match is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the AEW World Championship. Sorry, Tanahashi, but MJF is probably going to get disqualified or something, but he's not winning or losing that belt. So, yeah, MJF, maybe he'll lose to Tanahashi by disqualification. Yeah, either way, I don't. Tanahashi.
Yeah, the belt's not changing hands. MJF is going to win, probably with the ring and a distraction by who? I don't know. I don't know if Tanahashi's feuding with anyone in New Japan. Like MJF is probably. We know he's not above paying people off, so
I hope it's Eric Bischoff. I hope Eric Bischoff shows up and low blows both of them. And the first one that gets low blowed is going to be Tanahashi. So he wins by disqualification. And then MJF just because.
Sure.
So, all right. This next match is brought to you by Little Debbie because there be cakes here. This match, zebra cakes mainly, and I miss those. They're terrible for you, but I have a fondness of them from my childhood. Also, the cinnamon raisin cookies. The oatmeal cookies. So good. Terrible for you. Stay away from sugar. It's crack cocaine. So, we got Tony Storm, the reigning, defending L Women's AEW's champion. And then we have Willow Nightingale. It should have been Mercedes, but accidents happen in a AEW World Championship match, actually. So it's Tony Storm, and she's going to win because she's got friends in low places or high places, depending on what side of the force you happen to exist on, be it the good side or the bad side. We all know that it's a point of view, really.
That's right. And I believe from what I've seen that Tony Storm is very good at letting the hate flow through her. And that is why Tony Storm is going to win, not because Willow Nightingale doesn't belong in this match.
Yeah, much like she let the hate flow through her when winning the AEW championship from Jamie Hayter. Yes, this is a done deal. Willow Nightingale is a very good, cool person. She's fairly nice and a great, great gal, but she's not going to do well here. She's the numbers game, everybody. It's just you don't win unless you have that. So, and I believe that is it, right? For
What
the
what a card.
this is the most amazing Forbidden Door card since the last Forbidden Door card, and dare I say, probably longer than that one. So
Certainly the best Forbidden Door card since the first, which was, I mean, an entire year ago.
certainly, it was not 2023 because that's not this year; it's last year. So speaking of this year, let's switch gears. Boy, Rich Deriz, it's been a crazy week in wrestling, and more specifically, Logan Paul. Uh, no surprise to anyone actually sitting here, because I believe we talked about that. It's possible that he could just be added to the match. My opinion is let it ride. It gives more like a star power to an otherwise like there's two guys that we think should win it kind of ladder match kind of deal, and this throws in a little wrench there. I my picks are either Damian Priest or LA Knight,
Yeah.
but I would love it if it was, but I really think the lock is Damian Priest. But there is a universe in which Logan Paul does become Mr. Money in the Bank. We do have a world heavyweight, please don't go Seth Rollins championship, that we could use that to inflate the numbers on it when he beats him back for it. So you might have a WWE where Logan Paul is a world champion before Cody Rhodes. So think about that.
That's incredible.
Rich Deriz, thoughts and feelings.
So two perspectives, right? Mainstream don't really watch wrestling often, but when something catches your eye, you'll tune in. This is great. Logan Paul is going to bring a bunch of new people to the event, the one event, maybe a Raw or two leading up to it. Um, for the wrestling fans, for the hardcore, we don't care. I don't care about Logan Paul. I literally only heard of him like when him and his brother were doing boxing, and I still didn't know who they were because I'm not gonna just look up some dude's YouTube's like if it can't be easily explained to me why this person is famous. It's like, oh, he's an internet personality. Okay, what does that mean?
Honestly, I think we're not in the demographic.
Right.
LA Knight says they're 14. We're 40 plus, so I don't think
Yeah.
we can really, so let's not, continue to sound uncool and move on to what we know. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a unification, Rich Riz. And unfortunately for us, the wrong team won. Honestly, I was hoping that Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, weren't just brought up here to get beat. But now, once again, and I love how the announcers are basically saying, yeah, the belts are going back to what it was supposed to be in the first place
Right.
because it was supposed to be defended on all three, but for some reason they stopped doing that. But I guess since Vince is not in charge, they can do that. So, what thoughts and feelings on was it the right move? And to the Bookiverse, this is the second question for interactivity. Who do you think should have been the champions? Was it the right call and why? And Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, it's time to come up with the definitive eye makeup for your identity. It's time to really lay it down. I feel like you've experimented many times. I read an interview that Rousey, she fears camel toe, and she, you know, should stop wearing shorts that are prone to that. I think you should talk with Maxine Dupree, get yourself in a singlet, and let's freaking go. All right.
Right. So I definitely agree on the whole eye makeup thing. As they were making their entrance, I was like, wow, they don't even do makeup as a team, you know? They also need a tag team name, like something.
I mean, when your name is Ronda Rousey, do you really want a tag team name? Like the name speaks for itself. We're talking about value because then it's like the team name. It's like, oh, who's that? But you know right away, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. It's like, who's Shayna Baszler? She's Ronda Rousey's friend, but you're not like, who's Ronda Rousey, right?
Right.
Like here, you would be like, who's Basement Chair or who's Rich Derez? It's not. It's different.
If it's your first time here.
Exactly. That's why it's not Basement Chair Rich Derez. It's Basement Bookers Podcast. That's why the tag team has a name here. You see?
Right.
Great.
So as far as getting the dub and everything, I was hopeful it would be Aladon and Alba Fire, but especially based on the brawl last week, how that went.
Yeah, like they got the up, so
Yeah.
you got to go down, I guess.
Yeah. And about the tag team thing, just a reminder about why the NXT women's tag team titles were created in the first place. Because when the one time they were defended on NXT TV, there was shenanigans, which was why Triple H named, I believe it was Raquel Gonzalez at the time and Dakota Kai.
Time out, my friend. I'm sorry, but you are misquoting the Basement Bookers podcast, in which we did discuss that, and it was Pierce. It wasn't Triple H.
Oh,
it was
okay,
Pierce.
Pierce.
We even
Pierce.
read about it in the Wikipedia together.
Sorry.
So it's okay.
Wrong bald former wrestler.
I too sometimes mix them up. I'm like, why isn't he spitting water? What's going on? What are we doing?
Yeah, all he does is say it is official.
Or hold on.
And no, Bianca, Charlotte gets what she wants.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, that's a topic.
And look, we already talked about it. That's great.
Right, there we go. Regardless of which bald WWE official, former wrestler, made the call, Raquel Gonzalez at the time, Rodriguez now, and Dakota Kai were handed brand new NXT Women's Tag Team Championships because there were shenanigans during their match for the WWE Women's Tag Titles. And that, at the time, kind of broke NXT out of getting the WWE Women's Tag Titles defended there.
Yes. So we're righting wrongs, wronging rights, time travel, etc.
Ultimately, just to briefly go back in time, like from WrestleMania to now, I like remember I said there's a lot of titles. I like the condensation that's happening.
Excellent. I agree too. So Rich Derez and I, we just watched Charlotte Flair and Asuka here. Asuka completely whiffed the kick there. I'm gonna go back just so you can see it without hitting play because that's why we can't have nice things. So that's nice little dab here.
I love Asuka.
Okay, so first, right here, she kicks up. Charlotte sells.
Yeah.
But as if she was, though. So that's pretty good, right?
All right. That's good on Charlotte.
Now, if you noticed, viewer, Charlotte Flair complained on Twitter that Asuka attacked her unawares. Now, Charlotte, let me say something. You might have been able to defend yourself had you released the hold when the bell rang, babyface. So why are you holding the heel who has tapped already? You deserve what you got. And I get it. That was the thing to get you for that to happen. But if that, you got to go a different way then. Like, look, I got a little over my skis there. I might have got a little overzealous. That's all. That's all you had to do. So, what do you think?
Something I've said a million times on this podcast, WWE, make it make sense. Why is the face doing a heel thing to a heel when it's not like there was a feud here, right?
Yeah. If anything, Asuka's a hero. Asuka's coming out here and she's breaking the hold. and she's stopping Charlotte Flair, that monster, from, look at this. She's just holding it in. She's just holding it. And poor Lacey Evans is tapping to her heart's content. So honestly, Asuka, you're a hero. I know I say this a lot, but you also too are as pure as the driven snow. You know, you and Danny Garcia so far the best, the brightest stars among us, the kindest. I once saw a guy that looked just like Danny Garcia. He was working at a soup kitchen, and he didn't leave until he served every unhoused person in that soup kitchen. What a legend. I couldn't believe it. It might not have been him, but you don't know. You weren't there. So we're going to move on to the next one. So this is what I like to call Rich DeRiz do Bloodline. So he's in a, because he says he's got this by memory. Tell us, Rich, what happened during this here?
Well, what I said was I summarized from memory. And essentially, Jay says they still love Roman, but he made a mistake by disrespecting them.
That's a big mistake. You don't disrespect family because they're not just your cousins. They're also men.
That's
men
right.
like you who are in an ego-driven business.
And they're good at it, like you.
That's right.
Chief.
That's right. Hashtag factually true, mainly because why would the tribal chief surround himself with less than? So really, and this goes to a lot of people out there in the world that like to open their mouths. You're as good as the people you hire. So you chose them. And for you to go out there and badmouth them because they're just talking facts about you, that makes you look worse. That makes you look worse. And to go out spreading lies against people because they're not doing what you want them to do when you were praising them before, that also makes you look bad. So take that for what you will. That could be to anyone. So you think about it. And this was good, but we had some other Bloodline things kind of happen. Now, this is another thing that happened with Bloodline, and now it's time for Jerry do Bloodline. Now, here we have Solo Sikoa versus Sheamus. This was brought on because Solo Sikoa angry about what he heard the brothers Uso say at the beginning of the episode, attacks poor Ridge Wallet Holland in the back with a Samoan spike. Decent sale there, mate. And this leads to this match, which, by the way, was stopped. Referee stoppage. This spot right here, okay, I can't play it because YouTube, but basically, Solo Sikoa assaulting that barricade and not even hitting Sheamus led to stoppage. I just want to say, I get it, but don't do that. Do something else after to make it work. Like, I get it was planned, but you got to roll an audible here. What do you think?
100% agree. Like, he obviously completely hip checks the barricade. Maybe what Solo should do going forward in a spot exactly like this, right? Where his right hip essentially is supposed to hit Sheamus, and his left hip hits the barricade, breaking the barricade, and actually not impacting Sheamus, is he should turn more so that his left hip hits the barricade first. Therefore, his body blocks the fact that he's not actually hitting Sheamus. Because what it looks like is his right hip hits the barricade, nowhere near Sheamus's head. I won't say nowhere near, but like clearly not hitting Sheamus's head. Nothing hits Sheamus's head. The barricade eats the whole thing, and then Sheamus lays down.
Yeah, this could have been prevented with like good camera trickery, but really, like, what do they can barely do what they can do. Like, they're good at this stuff, but like, you gotta help out here, buddy. And I feel like these spots don't work as well if it's a spear or a Strowman. You know what I mean? It's just a different kind of thing. So maybe try something else.
Right.
So out come the Usos, not to protect Sheamus, no. They're out there because they the ones. And you're gonna see that they're gonna show the precise precision of the most precise super kicks in the business. First, Solo's like, yeah. And Paul Heyman's like, yeah. Oh, no. So then this happened. These two guys, the Usos, they super kicked Solo right in the mush. Yeah. And then they're leaving? Nuh-uh. They're not really leaving. We forgot something. We're just going to go here. We're just going to look around a little bit. Where you at, Heyman? Heyman's like, oh, just an advocate, man. Come on, guys. And they're like, yeah. And then another super kick to Solo. Followed up by, it's time to go up to the top rope. And then they do, all right, that's a good spot to lay things out on. So yeah, they did the splash on
Solo.
Solo. I mean, I guess they didn't want to hurt him too bad. Let's work on that a little bit, guys. Yeah, never wrestled a day in my life. Don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So, as a bro, what you saying, bro? Come on, bro. What up? All right.
I always found it weird that one of them always lands on the person's legs.
Well, if you can't walk, you can't kick out. This way, your legs can't kick out, and then your upper body can't kick out, right?
True.
Even though it's not even their finisher, but whatever. It leads up to it. Let's switch gears to Monday Night Raw, and let's talk about something I liked, and then I found out I probably wouldn't liked it as much as the thing that they were gonna do. So let me take you through this. So Tomaso Ciampa returns to Monday Night Raw from injury with No One Will Survive, his original music that he didn't have before. They had some whatever, not as good as this. And I'm like, yes. Originally, the plan was for Tomaso Ciampa to answer Seth Rollins' open challenge before it was turned to Seth Rollins getting destroyed by Finn Balor to make Balor a more credible threat. Because in Vince's mind, he didn't think he really, there's always been a real disconnect between the two if he's not covered in body paint, if I'm being honest. So it would have been Tomaso Ciampa versus Seth Rollins, which I thought would have been an amazing way to showcase Tomaso Ciampa. And the argument could be made, he'd have to lose, right? Why would he win? Who says it has to be a finish? You could still have Finn Balor wreck Seth Rollins. It could still have the same result. And he's already wrestled a match against a very game Tomaso Ciampa. And it's not like he was going to wrestle Braun Breaker, well, he did wrestle Braun Breaker, but it's the next day. He'll be fine. Maybe that was it. I mean, that could make sense. Like he wrestled the match and then got beat up instead of just getting beat up. But I don't know. I think they should have did that because then it's like, wait a second. Even though Seth Rollins has a match against Finn Balor at Money in the Bank, he's going in banged up against Braun Breaker. He could lose to Braun Breaker on NXT.
Which is what I said last week.
Yeah. But that didn't happen.
Right.
They didn't do that here. So, but they did kind of do like one of those things where you trip and almost fall, but you kind of help yourself. You still embarrassed yourself because you kind of didn't do what the guy who's never booked a wrestling match his whole life suggested you should do. But in that, they do have the payoff of Miz got one phone call to Tomaso after he's out, and he helped, and that closes that off, and they can just move on from that.
I think it was also a unique way to tell that story rather than the traditional way of, the upset guy attacks, wait a week. Why'd you do what you did?
And it's like, we know why he did what he did. Let's just do this here. Let's do that. So
and telling the story to the announcers so the announcers can tell us in case we didn't hear through the announcer's mic.
Exactly, my guy. Exactly. So, well, Rich, I think we've had an excellent show. I had a lot of fun here talking about the best Forbidden Door since the last Forbidden Door. And honestly, I'm looking forward to when Will Ospreay comes out and he's like, it's Ospreay time, and he Will Ospreay's all over the mat and just picks up that dub from Kenny over there. What about you, man?
I might not necessarily be looking forward to the spraying all over the mat. However, I'm looking forward to all the action coming tomorrow, as of this recording, or tonight, probably as of your viewership and listenership of Forbidden Door. It's going to be a good time. Long night of wrestling, as always, when it comes to an AEW pay-per-view or premium live event, but they typically deliver in quality.
Definitely, dude. And Tony Khan, like, I'm also looking forward to the follow-up Dynamite where Tony comes out and he says it's announcement time, and he announcements all over the place. It's going to be incredible. So, with that being said, thanks for checking out the podcast. It's a video now, but we also have audio. So check out all the links there in the link tree down there. We're on all the things, where you can find podcast, Basement Bookers. And, if you thought this was cool and we earned it, hook it up with a like or whatever. Sound off below. Who do you think the underdog is? What you think is going to be the best match, worst match? Who's got, best hair? Who's got best no hair in anything? So do it up. Yeah.
And Jer's got a parting message.
A match of life is scheduled for one fall. So make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the bookers, please, if you feel like we've earned that from you.